with fans singing, flags flying on goals galore. The World Cup is now underway. Okay, not that one. It's still 2 weeks until Fifa's tournament kicks off in Russia with billions watching around the world. But for the few hundred vocal spectators in the stands at Enfield Town FC's ground in North London, seeing Abkhazia take on Tibet in one of the opening games of the Conifa World Football Cup on Thursday, the passion was every bit as real. A Tibet supporter watches as his team play Abkhazia in the first round of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. What is the Conifa World Football Cup? This competition is for teams representing disputed states, ethnicities that stretch beyond national boundaries, and countries that are simply too small or isolated to take part in major international games. Instead of Brazil, Germany and Argentina, players from Matabeleland, Western Armenia and Tuvalu are among those taking part. The teams playing this year, who holds the trophy? This year the World Football Cup is being held at non-league grounds across London. The reigning champions, Abkhazia, an autonomous region of Georgia that is recognized as an independent state by just a handful of other nations, are determined to retain the trophy. When the team won on home soil in the 2016 final, via a penalty shootout, defender Astamor Sishba, who back home plays for FC Gagra, says it was one of the greatest moments in his life, or his people's history. Nothing like this had ever happened before in Abkhazia, so it was very emotional, he tells I. The stadium was full, it was incredible. So good, in fact, that the president declared the next day a public holiday. Abkhazia's defender Astamor Shishba, an unused substitute in the team's opening game of Conifa's World Football Cup against Tibet. Photo, Terry Pengili. Daria Zavodskaya, an Abkhazia fan who volunteered to help run the tournament in 2016 and has traveled from Italy to help out again this year, was among those enjoying the celebrations. For at least a year there were still posters of the team in the city. It was something very personal to people, she says. The official song was everywhere, in public transport, in the cafes. Abkhazia supporters watched their team take on Tibet in the opening game of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. How is the competition run? In contrast to the billions of pounds that FIFA will make TV in revenue from its Russia 2018 tournament, Conifa says that it will be glad to break even, relying on volunteers and goodwill. Ramadan Ismail, one of the directors at Enfield Town FC, offered to host games at his club's ground after reading on social media that this year's tournament would be held in London. Abkhazia faced Tibet at Enfield Town FC's Queen Elizabeth Stadium, North London, in the first round of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili, who is expected to get the biggest support among the teams playing here will be Northern Cyprus, and Ismail is hoping that they will attract lots of spectators from the local area's strong Turkish Cypriot community. Several hundred tickets have already been sold for their games, but he says, being of North Cypriot heritage myself, I know that they will get off their armchairs about 10 minutes before kickoff and say, let's go watch that game. Abkhazia faced Tibet at Enfield Town FC's Queen Elizabeth Stadium, North London, in the first round of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. What about the standard of football? There are no Neymars or Cristiano Ronaldos, but Ismail says people may be surprised if they are expecting a bunch of amateurs. Of the North Cypriot team, 21 out of 23 are full-time professionals in their Premier Division. Billy Mehmet was a prolific goal-scorer in Scotland for St Mirren and Dunfermline. That's a good pedigree, and they've got a Northern Cypriot player who plays with Galatasaray and has played for the Turkish under-21s. Just look at those astonishing Matabeleland kits. Here come the teams for Matabeleland v Padania. One of their supporters, a nurse who has lived in the UK for 15 years, tells me she has taken the day off work to watch the team with her whole family, and will see them again on Saturday, as she unfurls a flag. Tibet Tibetan supporters watch as their team play Abkhazia in the first round of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. What happened in the first round of games? Tibet do not boast the experience of the Abkhazia team, and fall to a 3-0 loss. All sharp, well-taken finishes rather than goal-mouth scrambles, despite showing many glimpses of skill. You could say it leaves them with a mountain to climb to qualify for the next round, but the captain, shopkeeper Karma Sewing, who grew up playing on mud pitches and now lives in southern India, refuses to be disheartened. It's about learning, he says. Now we know what we need to improve. Our boys did very well, but physically, we lag behind. He adds the atmosphere from their fans means it feels like home. Tibetan supporters watch as their team play Abkhazia in the first round of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. Elsewhere, Padania beat Madabel Ilan 6-1, Northern Cyprus vs Carpatalia finishes 1-1, favourites Panjab thrash Kabylia 8-0, CK Land triumph 4-0 over. Is there any controversy like FIFA's Russia 2018 World Cup? This being a mini World Cup, it wouldn't be complete without a mini protest. Outside the stadium, I finds two Georgian women who have unfurled a banner saying, Conifa is against international order and peace. They are upset at any recognition for the breakaway state of Abkhazia, which is supported by Russia. They came here on Russian passports, so they should be in the Russian team, not the Abkhazia team, says Katy Kalandides, a translator who has lived in the UK for 20 years. We have nothing against the Abkhazian team themselves, but it's the politics. Katy Saparaj, right, and Katy Kalandides with their protest banner outside the stadium hosting one of the opening games of the Conifa World Football Cup. Photo, Terry Pengili. What next? With the match over, the players travel by coach back to the student accommodation at Colindale, which has become a mini Olympic village for all 16 teams, to prepare for the next round of fixtures. On Saturday, tickets for Conifa World Football Cup games cost £10 or £5 for children, plus booking fees.